Have you ever looked around at your life? Chaos swirling, prayers unanswered, and silence so loud it drowns your hope, and wondered, God, are you even helping me? What if I told you that his help doesn't always look like rescue? Sometimes it looks like resistance. What if his help is hidden in the closed door, the delayed dream, the unexpected no, or even the lonely stretch of silence? God's help isn't always wrapped in comfort. Sometimes it's packaged in pressure, pain, and process. But make no mistake, he's working behind the scenes, moving mountains you can't see and strengthening you for battles you don't even know are coming. So today I want to show you something, not just to inspire you, but to reveal to you the 7 undeniable signs that God is in fact helping you. Even when it doesn't feel like it, sometimes God's help doesn't come wrapped in peace and comfort right away. Instead, it starts with a stirring deep inside you, a feeling that things are shifting, but you can't quite put your finger on what's happening. It's that restless tension that won't let you settle for the status quo anymore. You may feel unsettled, as if everything around you is in motion, yet you haven't arrived at a clear destination. This feeling can be uncomfortable, even exhausting, because your spirit is pushing you forward while your circumstances seem to hold you back. But here's the truth. Feeling unsettled is not a sign that you're losing the battle. In fact, it's a sign that God's hand is actively working in your life. That inner discomfort is a divine signal. He's waking you up, shaking you out of complacency, and preparing you for a new season. It's God's way of saying, I'm not finished with you yet. There's more ahead. Even though the path may seem unclear and the uncertainty heavy, you have not been defeated. This tension you feel is actually a sacred space where transformation happens. It's where God is reshaping your heart, renewing your vision, and realigning your purpose. Instead of breaking you down, this season of unrest is building you up in unseen ways. Your faith is being refined, your character is being strengthened. You may not see the full picture yet, but every step you take in this unsettled state is bringing you closer to the promise he has for you. So, if you're feeling uneasy or restless today, take heart. That feeling isn't a curse, it's a blessing in disguise. It's God's gentle reminder that he is moving, that change is coming, and that victory is closer than you think. You may feel unsettled, but you are far from defeated. One of the most challenging things to accept when you're waiting for God's help is when opportunities you hoped for suddenly disappear. When doors close in your face without warning. It can feel like rejection, like a personal failure, or like God isn't listening at all. But what if those closed doors aren't the end of the story? What if those very closures are actually acts of God's protection and preparation? When a door shuts, it's easy to get stuck in disappointment or confusion, wondering why what seemed so promising is no longer available. But God's help is often hidden in those closed doors. He's shutting off pathways that aren't meant for you, paths that might seem good or familiar, but ultimately aren't aligned with the greater plan he has for your life. Those doors close to protect you from something that could have limited your growth, delayed your destiny, or even caused harm. Better doors are opening even if you don't see them yet. Sometimes those doors open slowly, almost imperceptibly. Sometimes they open wide all at once, but what's important is this. God is actively preparing a new way, one that is designed specifically for your purpose and your blessing. The closed doors are clearing the way for something greater, something bigger, something that fits your life's calling perfectly. It's like pruning a tree. You might see branches cut away and feel the loss, but that pruning allows the tree to grow stronger and bear more fruit in the future. The same goes for your life. Those doors closing might feel like loss, but they are necessary so that you can step into a season of increased favor and opportunity. So instead of mourning the closed doors or trying to force them open, trust that God is working behind the scenes. Stay patient, stay faithful, and keep your eyes open for the doors he's already beginning to open. Sometimes God's help comes not as an obvious gift, but as a subtle reroute. A course correction that leads you exactly where you need to be. Remember, Just because a door closes doesn't mean God's help has stopped. It means He's saying, wait for me. I'm opening something better. And when those new doors do open, you'll realize that what you thought was a setback was actually a setup for your greatest breakthrough. Life often puts us through seasons of intense testing, moments when everything inside us is challenged, stretched, and pushed to the limit. These times can feel overwhelming, like a storm raging against your very foundation. But here's the key: when God is helping you, your faith is tested, but it is never torn apart. In fact, these tests are not meant to break you, they are designed to build you. When you face difficulties, it might seem like God is distant or silent. You may feel like giving up, questioning everything you once believed. But in those moments, your faith is being refined like gold in a fire. Just as fire removes impurities and makes gold purer and stronger, the challenges you face are stripping away doubt, fear, and anything that could weaken your trust in God. The testing of your faith is evidence that you are on a path of growth. It shows that God is actively working in your life, stretching you beyond your comfort zone so you can become more resilient, more patient, and more grounded in His promises. If your faith was never tested, it might remain shallow or fragile. But when tested, it gains depth and strength that will carry you through every future storm. Even when the pressure is intense, the fact that you are still standing, still hoping, still believing is a powerful sign that God's help is sustaining you. You may feel worn, but you are not torn apart. You may feel tired, but you are not defeated. Your faith is like a muscle being strengthened through resistance. It grows stronger, more durable, and more capable of carrying the weight of life's challenges. So, when you find yourself in a season of testing, don't despair. Don't let the trials convince you that God has abandoned you or that you are losing the battle. Instead, hold on tightly to your faith, knowing that God's help is right there in the midst of your trial. He's holding you up, protecting you, and shaping you into the person you are meant to be. The testing is temporary, but the faith that emerges from it will last a lifetime. This is God's way of proving to you and to the world that your faith is real, unshakable, and deeply rooted in His unfailing love. Sometimes, when you feel like you're completely out of options, when every door seems closed and every plan feels like it's falling apart, God shows up in ways you least expect. Unexpected resources appear, not because you earned them or planned for them, but because God is moving on your behalf in ways you can't explain. These resources may come in many forms: a timely phone call, a surprise financial blessing, an encouraging word from a stranger, or an opportunity that falls into your lap without effort. When these moments happen, they are unmistakable signs that God's help is present. The beauty of these unexpected resources is that they often arrive just at the right moment, like a lifeline thrown into the midst of a storm. They don't come because of coincidence or luck, but because God is orchestrating circumstances behind the scenes. You might not see the full picture at first, but in hindsight you'll realize that these resources were exactly what you needed to keep going, to overcome obstacles, or to take the next step toward your breakthrough. What makes these moments so powerful is their unpredictability. They catch you off guard, reminding you that your life is not solely dependent on your own strength or planning. It's a divine reminder that God is actively working for you, even when you can't see it. When you experience these blessings, it's important to recognize them as signs of God's help and to respond with gratitude and faith. Sometimes unexpected resources come through other people, friends, family, even strangers, who become vessels of God's provision. Other times they come as new ideas, sudden clarity, or renewed energy. Whatever form they take, these resources confirm that you are not alone and that God's hand is upon your situation. So when you find yourself facing a mountain that seems too big to climb, don't lose hope. Watch for those surprising moments of provision that come when you least expect them. They are God's way of saying, I'm here, I'm helping you, trust me. And as these resources flow into your life, Let them strengthen your faith and fuel your perseverance, knowing that God's help is real and always sufficient. Growth is rarely easy. In fact, the most meaningful growth often comes wrapped in discomfort, challenge, and sometimes even pain. When God is helping you, you will find yourself growing, even when it feels hard, even when the process seems slow or difficult. Growth is a sign that God is at work within you, molding and shaping you into the person He created you to be. When you face trials, setbacks, or seasons of waiting, it's tempting to feel discouraged or to believe that nothing is changing. But growth isn't always visible on the surface. Sometimes it's happening quietly, deep inside your heart and mind. It's the patience you're learning when things don't move according to your timetable. It's the humility you gain when you recognize your limitations and surrender control. It's the strength you build when you keep going, even when the weight of your challenges feels heavy. God's help is seen in this growth. He is using every difficulty, every test, and every delay to refine your character and increase your capacity. Just like a seed must be buried in darkness before it can sprout, your growth often takes place in unseen places, out of sight. The hard seasons are the soil where your faith takes root and begins to flourish. This growth also prepares you for what's ahead. God isn't just helping you survive the present moment. He's preparing you for future seasons of greater responsibility, deeper joy, and expanded purpose. The lessons you're learning now, even the painful ones, are equipping you for a destiny that requires resilience, wisdom, and courage. So if you feel weary or frustrated because growth seems slow or difficult, remember that God's help is evident in your progress, even if you can't measure it yet. The discomfort you feel is a sign that you're being stretched beyond your old self and stepping into a new level of maturity. This is a sacred process, a journey of becoming more fully who you were meant to be. In the end, growth is one of the clearest signs that God is helping you. Even when it's hard, even when it hurts, you are moving forward, being shaped, strengthened, and prepared for the amazing things God has in store. Trust the process. Lean into the lessons and know that every step, no matter how challenging, is part of His divine plan for your life. One of the most profound signs that God is helping you is the presence of peace in the middle of life's storms. When chaos surrounds you, when circumstances feel overwhelming, confusing, or even frightening, there can still be a deep, unshakable calm within your spirit. This peace is not dependent on your situation improving or your problems disappearing. It's a supernatural gift from God that anchors your soul no matter what is happening around you. Life storms come in many forms: financial struggles, broken relationships, health challenges, or unexpected setbacks. When these storms hit, it's natural to feel fear, anxiety, and doubt. But God's help shows up when, despite all the noise and turmoil, you find a quiet assurance that says, "I am with you. You will get through this." This peace is not simply the absence of trouble. It is a powerful presence that surpasses understanding. This peace guards your heart and mind, giving you strength to face what lies ahead without being consumed by worry. It allows you to remain steady, to make clear decisions, and to hold on to hope even when the future looks uncertain. It's a reminder that you are not alone in the storm, that God's help is surrounding you like a shield. The peace you experience amid the storm is often a sign that God is actively working on your behalf behind the scenes. You might not see the solution immediately, but that inner calm is His way of strengthening your faith and preparing you for the breakthrough that is coming. It keeps you grounded, preventing despair and keeping your eyes fixed on the promise of better days. When you feel this peace, embrace it. Let it remind you that God's help is not always loud or dramatic. Sometimes it's quiet and steady, a soft whisper of reassurance in the chaos. It's a sacred space where you can rest, recharge, and trust that even the storm is under God's control. So if you find yourself in the middle of a difficult season, listen for that peace. Let it be your anchor and your reminder that God's help is real and present. Even in the darkest storms, His peace is a beacon of hope, a guarantee that you are being carried through to a place of victory and rest. As we've walked through these signs today, I want you to remember this. God's help is real, even when it's hard to see. When you feel unsettled but not defeated, when doors close only to open wider ones, when your faith is tested but not torn, know that God is right there with you, working, protecting, and guiding every step. Unexpected blessings will come. You will grow through the challenges, and even in the storms, you will find a peace that surpasses all understanding. These are not just random moments or coincidences. They are divine confirmations that God is helping you, preparing you, and setting you up for His best. So hold on, keep trusting, keep believing. Because even when the road seems long and the journey tough, God's help is steadfast, His love unwavering, and His plan for your life unstoppable. You are not alone, you are not forgotten, and the best is yet to come.